Hey, financially savvy travelers, welcome back to another episode of the Thought Card podcast. In 2014, I planned my first solo trip to Paris, and I haven't looked back since. I've traveled with student loan debt, with credit card debt, while single, married, with family members, and with my friends. Over the last 9 years, I've documented my adventures extensively on the Thought Card, both my blog and on this podcast. The time to travel is now. And in this episode, I'm sharing 10 financial reasons why you should travel more, not less. This is the final episode in the 3-part vacation fund series in partnership with Thrifty Traveler, a recurring sponsor of the show. You'll hear about them more a little later, but I wanted to say thank you to you all, my dear listeners, for checking out our podcast partners. Your support means the world to me. Besides my travel books, I rarely sell anything on the show. So our sponsorship partners really help keep this show going. I have loved hearing from you about how the show is impacting your life. Tony from Vancouver, Canada, tweeted me saying, I just wanted to share with you, I saved a lot of money on my flight to El Salvador from your podcast. When I asked him which strategies he used, because let's be real, we talk a lot about strategy here. So he said budgeting and signing up for flight deals. My friends, I love to see it. I love to see us winning financially. I love to see us jet setting. I love to see it all. Welcome to the Thought Card, a podcast about travel and money, where planning, saving, and creativity leads to affording travel, building wealth, and paying off debt. We are the financially savvy travelers. Alrighty, so the reason why I thought today's episode topic was really important is because we find lots of reasons to delay travel, to postpone travel. And there are times when it's appropriate and there's good reason as to why we should not be traveling. But I also want to share an alternative viewpoint is that now, like travel now. And because we're a travel and personal finance podcast, then of course we're going to rope into and talk about the financial pieces. So, with that being said, reason number one to travel now instead of later is you saved for it. You are going on a guilt free, debt free vacation. Can I hear a yes? Yes, right? You're nodding your head yes. You've done all of the hard work to get to this point. You deserve it. You've earned it. You've made sacrifices. You've planned ahead. You've been intentional. You deserve this guilt free and debt free vacation. So if you feel like you've done the hard work, you can do this, then do it now versus later. So, for example, we are about to head out to go on our Disney vacation. And my husband this year took the responsibility of saving for this Disney family vacation. We're going to spend a week in Orlando in Disney World, and the pure joy that he feels for having saved all of this money to do this. And for me, like I was responsible for our spending money, the joy for me to having the opportunity to be like, okay, we have all of this spending money. We can enjoy Disney guilt free. So enriching and rewarding. So if you're at the position where you've done the work, you can do this, do it now versus later. Reason number two is if you have any expiring travel credits. Now, this is even more relevant today than it has been in the past because I know since COVID, we've had airfare banks, right? They have these credits that they put in the airline banks, for example. So with that being said, like let's say you weren't able to fly, they won't give you a refund, but they'll take your amount that you spent on the flights and they'll put it in their credit bank, right? So that is a great way. Like we're not wasting money, we're getting our travel credits, but just be aware that these travel credits do expire. Of course, you have to read the terms and conditions for each airline to know what expires and what doesn't. But for the ones that I've seen, they do expire. And keeping a very close eye on when they expire and making sure you redeem them so you're not wasting money is truly important. So if you're sitting on a bank of airfare credits or travel credits from years ago that you haven't redeemed yet, make sure to travel now instead of later. Reason number three is windfall money. We've talked about this in previous episodes, but if you get a tax refund, if you get a bonus at work, if you get inheritance money, then you have this pot of money sitting around, then allocate towards traveling today versus tomorrow. Let's also talk about winning giveaways. So, this is actually one of my I don't win often, like, I don't get to do it often, but truly winning a travel giveaway has been a phenomenal way to travel to some incredibly unique destinations. So, a couple years ago, I won this weekend getaway to Zurich, Switzerland, and that trip inspired me to go on a week-long trip to go to Italy with my mom. So, we landed in Milan. We enjoyed Milan for a couple days. We went to Florence. We took a train to Zurich to enjoy that travel giveaway. And we came back and finished up our trip. So, the reason why we even were able to travel and go on this trip was because of winning this giveaway. It was one giveaway. It was one time. I haven't won anything ever since. But one of the newsletters I really love for this is Jen on a Jet Plane's newsletter. Jen Ruiz was recently a guest on this podcast, episode 166. We talked all about planning 12 trips in 12 months and going on an epic long travel challenge, a year-long travel challenge. So I love her newsletter. She does an incredible job every week sharing with you what are the latest travel giveaways and travel opportunities and travel jobs, like all of the things. So definitely recommend signing up for her newsletter. It's a free resource, and I will also have the link in the episode description and the accompanying blog post if you're interested in checking that out. Another incredible reason to travel now is if it's on sale. What do I mean by on sale? If you find a good travel deal, whether that's airfare and hotel combined, or if you find a really good cheap flight, this can be the inspiration and the gentle nudge that you need to travel now versus later. As you know, I am a big fan of Thrifty Traveler Premium. They are the sponsor of this episode and this three-part vacation fun series. This week, I received alerts for flight deals to Costa Rica for under $395 and nonstop round trip flights to Europe from 34,000 points. My family and I booked our upcoming vacation to Germany by taking advantage of this points alert, saving us over $1,000 on airfare and 60,000 points combined. But what you might not know is that Thrifty Traveler Premium offers additional perks beyond flight deal alerts. One of these perks is credit card consulting, which is great if you're new to points and miles or looking to maximize your portfolio. I'll share my credit card consultation experience very soon, so make sure you're following the podcast if you're not already. Join tens of thousands of travelers who love Thrifty Traveler Premium by becoming a subscriber today. Visit thoughtcard.com/thrifty and use the promo code TC10 to save $10 on your first year of Thrifty Traveler Premium. The link will also be in the episode description. I cannot tell you how many times I've been able to travel because I found an incredible vacation deal. If it's on sale, that could be a good reason to go today. Like, for example, a couple years ago, I found an insanely, incredibly, I feel like once in a lifetime, maybe deal to go to China. If you recall, in episode 47, I actually recorded an episode live on the Great Wall of China, and I highly recommend it. Like, I listen to that maybe a couple times a year just to like relive the magic of being on the Great Wall of China and just like seeing something in a textbook or in photos for so many years and being there in person. It just like gives me chills and goosebumps. My husband and I, we actually recorded an episode together, a rare occasion for him. He doesn't come on the podcast that often anymore. But in episode 48, we recapped our trip to China. We recapped how we planned it and all of our tips. So that's one of those travel opportunities that would have cost us thousands of dollars. And likely we wouldn't have gone to China during that time. But because the deal was so incredible, it gave us that inspiration. And it's like, I don't want to pass this up. We don't want to pass this up. So it being on sale is a good reason for you to travel now. And of course, if you can afford it, absolutely, makes sense. All right. With that being said, let's continue moving on. If you're invited by a family member or a friend to come visit them, this is an opportunity for you to travel to save money potentially on lodging, on airfare, and even things to do while you are there. This is a great opportunity to be able to spend time with them and also explore where they live. So, whenever I'm invited to come spend some time with a friend or family member who lives outside of where I live, I'm usually saying yes, and I'm taking them on the offer to travel and go see them. Moving on to reason number 7, financial reason number 7. Kids travel for free. Like there are lots of opportunities for kids to travel for free. So for example, if you're going to Disney and your child is under 3, they get in for free. If you are flying, whether domestic or I don't know about international, because there's been times we can talk about another episode, but there's been times where I had to pay for my child when we were traveling internationally. But within the US, you can travel domestically with your child free under 2. So, this can be a great opportunity to rack up those frequent flyer miles and travel when your kid is itty bitty because you're not having to pay for a seat for them. Our budget has to be bigger now that we have to pay for his flights. So, my recommendation is if you have a kiddo who is 3 and under, 2 and under, use this precious opportunity to travel. You'll make great memories together and you'll save lots of money on their tickets. Reason number 8, travel is one of the best personal investments you can make. We talk about stocks, we talk about investments like that kind of in market investments, but I see travel as a personal investment. It's an investment in me. When you travel, you're creating memories. You're pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone. You are making independent decisions. You are adapting. You are exploring new places, learning new cultures, discovering and uncovering new, incredible parts of yourself that you maybe haven't had the chance to tap into. You're connecting with others. You're learning about different cultures, picking up new language skills. There are just so many incredible things that happen when you travel. So, my reasoning here is that travel is a personal investment, it's investment in you. And it's one of those investments that gosh, I wish I knew about the magic of travel sooner. I wish even though I've traveled extensively, I've traveled so much, I always feel like, gosh, like, there's things happened a couple years ago where we stopped traveling, right? It made me appreciate travel so much because I couldn't travel. When I was, for example, pregnant with my son, we didn't travel. So that also made me yearn travel more, right? Like there's times when I'm able to travel a lot, there's times when we're not able to travel as much. But the enriching factor of travel, it's just so powerful, and absolutely worth to me the investment. Reason number 9. A lot of people assume that when they get older, they'll have more savings and this will allow them to travel more. And while this can be true, I also want you to be aware that the older you get, the typically worse your health status is. So I'm all about traveling while you're able to, while your body is able to. A lot of time in your old age, you'll have the savings, you'll have the financial flexibility and more money, but your health is also going downhill. Health is wealth. And as we get older, our health isn't guaranteed and it isn't going to necessarily get better. So if you can, another financial reason to travel now is because you're able to, you're able bodied, and you can do it. And I think assuming that we are going to be able to do the things we do today, 20 years from now, maybe 30 years from now, I've seen so many times, not to be morbid here, but like I have an uncle who literally worked so hard his entire life. He retired. And after he retired, like a couple months later, he fell ill. and he passed away shortly after. So if you're waiting for retirement, like nothing is guaranteed. Things are getting harder. Our health is deteriorating over time. So I see this as another reason to, okay, figure out, let's be creative and figure out ways to do it today versus waiting someday down the road. My last reason, reason number 10, is the fact that things aren't getting easier. You can let your finances be an excuse or an objection or a challenge as for why you cannot do something, or you can let it be inspiration. You can let it fuel the fire of saying, okay, I might not know how to do this, or I might not have all the resources to do this right now, but it can be a motivating factor for you to go and be where you want to go next in your life. To me, I always see hardships and challenges as an opportunity. It usually fuels me, to be honest. Like, I remember having student loan debt and being so disappointed and angry about my financial situation that it literally lit a fire in me to get out of debt. And I grinded for 4 years to get out of debt. And if I didn't have that challenge, if I didn't have that will to do something different, to be different, to have a different outcome in my life, I feel like I would have stayed in that debt cycle and not gotten out. But I'm all about not letting our finances be an excuse, be a barrier for us, but using it as motivation and being creative in the ways that we pursue our finances and our other life goals as a way to get to the next level, to get to our next goal. All right. So there are lots of reasons. As a quick recap, you saved for it. You deserve that guilt-free, debt-free vacation. You've earned it. It's on sale. Shout out to Thrifty Traveler Premium for helping us find these incredible flight deals, both domestic and international. Windfall money if you got tax refunds or bonuses, expiring travel credits, giveaways, travel giveaways, invitations by family members or friends. Kids travel for free. Travel is a personal investment in ourselves. Traveling when we're older, assuming that we can do this, is really it's a sticky situation, and we can't always assume that we're going to be in good health to be able to do all the things that we could do today versus tomorrow. And the fact that things aren't getting easier, that you can let your finances be an excuse, or you can let it fuel you to be able to, open up, unlock new creative avenues for you to get to where you want to go next. Right now, my friends, is the best time to travel. Right now. I hope that this vacation fund series convince you of this, and not only like encouraging you to travel, but not worrying about leaving your bank account empty. I'm all for traveling, of course, but I'm also all in on financial responsibility and not leaving us in a situation of detriment when we come back home. Y'all already know. Y'all already know. Binge the entire Vacation Fund series right now by listening to episode 167, where I share vacation fund do's and don'ts, and also episode 168, where I talk about creative ways to fund vacations without a side hustle. Thank you all for tuning in to another episode, and thank you, Thrifty Traveler Premium, for partnering with me on this incredible 3-part series. I will see you next time, and wish me bon voyage on our trip to Disney. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.